Over 1,000 years ago, a young Jugram Haschwalth tries and fails to shoot a rabbit with a wooden arrow. Suddenly, a glowing arrow pierces the rabbit instead, and out pops a cocky young Bazz-B perched on a tree branch. He mocks Haschwalth's lousy aim, declaring himself the Great Bazz and demanding Haschwalth introduce himself. Fast forward to the present. Bazz-B confronts Haschwalth in Yhwach, grabs him by the collar, and fires up his burner finger, ready for a fight. Haschwalth counters by flipping away and leaving Bazz-B tangled in his cloak. After a brief clash, Haschwalth realizes Bazz-B survived Yhwach's deadly Auswählen, which wiped out those deemed unworthy. Bazz-B furiously accuses Haschwalth of knowing this would happen and not stopping it. Calling each other by their old nicknames, Jugo and Bazz, the two childhood friends turned bitter enemies. Bazz-B ignites another attack with his burner finger, determined to kill Haschwalth and take down Yhwach's almighty power. Haschwalth calmly deflects and dodges, but memories of their past, like when Bazz tricked himself into revealing his name, hang heavy in the air. Back to the past, Bazz-B trails Haschwalth through the forest, carrying a rabbit he just shot. When Haschwalth asks why he's following, Bazz-B jokes that it's because Haschwalth is too hopeless to catch anything himself. Haschwalth doesn't argue, admitting he can't even make a Heilig Bogen, spirit bow. Bazz-B, startled, insists that's nonsense. He's just a genius, so Haschwalth isn't as pathetic as he thinks. Bazz-B brags no one their age can make a bow like him and teases Haschwalth about his lack of friends. Haschwalth explains he lives with his uncle since his parents are gone, but he clams up when Bazz-B gets too nosy. Frustrated, Haschwalth says he just needs to bring a rabbit home. Bazz-B smirks, chucks his rabbit at Haschwalth, and declares, "You're my underling now. Don't worry about the adults." After tossing Haschwalth a badge with a B, Bazz-B leaps into the trees, promising to teach him everything and make them the strongest Quincy ever. Haschwalth watches as his drunk, abusive uncle appears, scolding him for wandering too far. The past ends there. Flash forward, annoyed by Haschwalth's calm demeanor, Bazz-B blasts the floor into lava, forcing Haschwalth to block with his energy shield. Bazz-B readies his reishi crossbow, grinning. The story jumps back again. 6 months after their first meeting, Bazz-B's castle is attacked. Soldiers massacre his family's servants, and his mother is brutally killed by a sniper. Yhwach himself appears, destroying the castle with a massive attack. Bazz-B, left kneeling in the rubble, watches Yhwach emerge with glowing, eerie eyes. Fury fills him as he hides behind a rock, swearing revenge. By morning, Haschwalth finds him among the ruins. While digging through the wreckage, Bazz-B vents about Yhwach being some 200-year-old Quincy king with freaky powers. He doesn't care, he just wants revenge. Haschwalth, meanwhile, finds a mysterious broadsword lying in the rubble. Later, Bazz-B tells Haschwalth they're going to kill Yhwach. Haschwalth hesitates, revealing his uncle died in the fire, but agrees. The two start living in the woods, surviving on stolen valuables and hunting, while training non-stop to take down Yhwach. Around the campfire, Haschwalth admits he can't gather reishi or form a Heilig Bogen, but Bazz-B promises to teach him, saying this revenge is for both of them. Meanwhile, Yhwach announces plans to invade Soul Society and create a new combat unit, the Sternritter. Over the next 5 years, Bazz-B and Haschwalth train relentlessly. Bazz-B becomes a master of dual reishi crossbows, but Haschwalth struggles to make progress. Despite this, Bazz-B can't abandon him, inspired by his determination to improve. One day, Lichtreich soldiers arrive at a nearby village, declaring Yhwach is recruiting for the Sternritter. Fired up, Bazz-B immediately volunteers himself in Haschwalth, ignoring the villagers' warnings and Haschwalth's protests. Hubert, the soldier in charge, dismisses Bazz-B as a nobody and rides off, but Bazz-B fires a warning shot, challenging Hubert and his team to a fight on the spot. Hubert steps down, drawing his reishi saber, ready to test Bazz-B's boldness. Bazz-B taunts Hubert, calling him a monkey, and charges at him despite Haschwalth's warnings. But suddenly, an overwhelming pressure slams everyone to the ground. It's Yhwach arriving on horseback, his Reiatsu pinning them all down. Hubert quickly apologizes for his behavior, but Yhwach brushes it off, announcing he's here to choose his future right-hand man. Bazz-B is hyped, thinking he's the chosen one. He forces himself up, determined to kill Yhwach once he's picked. But Yhwach walks right past him and names Haschwalth as his other half. Haschwalth is stunned, confused, and not even sure what that means. Yhwach doesn't care and declares Haschwalth will be his advisor. Bazz-B is furious. All this time, they've trained together for this moment, and he can't understand how someone like Haschwalth, who he thinks lacks talent, got chosen. Haschwalth, seeing Bazz-B's glare, silently pleads for understanding, but Bazz-B's anger only deepens. When Haschwalth tries to tell Yhwach it's a mistake and that Bazz-B is more talented, Yhwach shuts him down. Yhwach reveals Haschwalth's true power, the rare ability to share power, something not seen in 200 years. Unlike other Quincy, Haschwalth can't absorb Reishi for himself. Instead, he unconsciously boosts those around him. Yhwach points out that Bazz-B's so-called talent was actually Haschwalth's power making him stronger. Crushed by this revelation, Bazz-B is enraged. As Yhwach places his hand on Haschwalth's head, sealing the deal, Bazz-B loses it. Screaming with blue Reiatsu, he fires an arrow at Yhwach, only for Haschwalth to calmly catch it at the last moment, leaving Bazz-B in shocked silence. Bazz-B fires a fiery arrow at Haschwalth, but Haschwalth casually catches it, leaving Bazz-B shocked. Before Bazz-B can react, Haschwalth slashes him across the stomach, sending him flying through a wall and crashing outside. As Haschwalth calmly approaches, he tells Bazz-B that their fight doesn't benefit Yhwach. Bleeding but determined, Bazz-B snaps back that he doesn't care. He's here to kill Yhwach. With his fiery sword ignited, Bazz-B charges in, but Haschwalth urges him to stop. Grinning, Bazz-B doesn't back down, calling Haschwalth a coward for running. He swings, slicing a massive pillar, but Haschwalth dodges effortlessly. Frustrated, Bazz-B recalls how, even years ago, Haschwalth always avoided his challenges. Back then, Haschwalth calmly reminded Bazz-B that fighting among Sternritter is a death sentence, leaving Bazz-B fuming. Now, in the heat of battle, Bazz-B leaps toward Haschwalth, determined to win. But with one clean swing, Haschwalth slices off Bazz-B's arm, sending his fiery blade spinning away and cutting through another pillar. Bazz-B, defiant as ever, refuses to admit defeat, even as the odds stack against him. Bazz-B screams in pain, clutching his severed arm as blood gushes everywhere. He drops to his knees, glaring through the swirling dust to spot Haschwalth's silhouette standing cool and unbothered. Fueled by rage, Bazz-B rises, powers up flames on his remaining hand and unleashes burning full fingers. A fiery five-pronged blast that clears the dust cloud in one epic move. But Haschwalth isn't fazed. He rushes through the flames, slashes Bazz-B down the chest, and shuts down the fire instantly. Blood pours from Bazz-B's chest as he stumbles, coughing up more. Barely standing, he staggers toward Haschwalth, grabs his lapel, and admits defeat. Surprisingly calm, Bazz-B remarks that losing doesn't feel as bad as he expected, even managing a smile. As Haschwalth walks away, sword sheathed, Bazz-B collapses, bleeding out. Memories flood back, him inviting Haschwalth to join him, promising to make them the strongest Quincy ever. With a final thought of their past bond, Bazz-B closes his eyes for good. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episodes, and subscribe for more videos.